What's going on, guys? It's your average consumer, and as many of you already know, the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 was recently introduced, and as expected, Samsung dropped another large and beautiful phone. I for one am super excited about this phone since the Galaxy Note 7 was one of 2016's best phones, and I was definitely disappointed by the recall, but luckily it looks like we're getting a lot of the same, but with a couple of cool upgrades. But what I wanted to do with this video is give you guys my first impressions of the Galaxy Note 8 while also doing a slight comparison to the S8 Plus, since it is one of this year's hottest phones and people will be drawing a comparison between those two the most. So first up, let's talk design. Side by side, you can see that they're similar, but the Note 8's rectangular edges make it distinctly different. And this makes sense since the Note series has always had a more rectangular design compared to the other Samsung phones. This difference in edges both distinguishes it nicely from the S8 Plus and also makes the phone slightly more grippy and comfortable to hold. It's not a huge difference, but it is something to note. In terms of other physical differences, the Note 8 is slightly larger with a 6.3-inch display compared to the S8 Plus's 6.2-inch display. But what remains the same between the two is the quality of the beautiful display. I had a chance to play around with the phone for several hours, and I don't think there's anyone that can get bored of that beautiful Quad HD Plus Infinity display that we get on both the S8 line and now the Note 8. Now when it comes to the UI, you pretty much get the same thing, but what I did notice on the Note 8 is that the app drawer now has 5 apps across instead of the 4 that you get on the S8 Plus. And it still includes the Edge panel that you can access on the side, but a nice little software tweak here is that you can now access split screen with a preset of 2 apps. So now you can pair any 2 compatible apps with the press of a single button. And since the Note 8 is meant to be a productivity increasing phone, it definitely makes sense to see this feature come alive here. And speaking about being productive, I gotta let you guys know about LastPass. I've personally been using LastPass for years to keep my passwords organized and accessible, and it is cool to finally be collaborating with them on today's video. Basically, LastPass will remember and store your passwords and will automatically fill them in when you visit your most often used sites, which is nice because this allows me to use a different password for different sites, which we should all be doing for the sake of security, but at least with LastPass, you don't have to remember them all. I can't stress how awesome it is to not have to type in a password anytime I want to sign in on a site. I've even installed this for my dad, who's been known to forget his password quite a bit and get locked out of his account. So this saves him the trouble of having to go through those security questions or somehow end up calling me. But guys, definitely check out LastPass. It is a game changer and it's been a staple for me for many years now, and I'll have links down below in the description for you to check it out. But now back to what makes the Note 8 the Note 8. And that's the S Pen. The S Pen's always been a staple to the Note line, but with the Note 8, it does have a few tweaks and upgrades. Now the new S Pen is more pressure sensitive, and it also comes with this new carousel feature where you can choose the action you're looking for by scrolling through the wheel. And a cool feature that I personally like is being able to pull out the S Pen and jot something on the screen without turning the phone on or choosing a specific app. This is great for taking down numbers, writing lists, or any sort of reminder. And I gotta say, it's really easy and comfortable to write down on the screen, even though my handwriting sucks. And of course, one of the most exciting changes here is the new dual camera. It features a wide f1.7 lens and the f2.4 telephoto lens. Now that wide lens is identical to that of the S8 and S8 Plus, but the addition of that telephoto lens allows some cool things to happen. Now you've got the ability to use this feature called live focus, which allows you to take professional looking photos with that blurred out background. And this is pretty similar to the iPhone 7 Plus's portrait mode, but the Note 8 does allow a bit more functionality by allowing you to be able to adjust the amount of bokeh or blurriness in the background. And not to mention, both of those lenses have optical image stabilization, which should really help with some low light photos or getting nice smooth video. Both the Note 8 and S8 Plus share the same front-facing cameras, so if you need those nice crisp selfies, you're definitely going to be able to get them with either phone. And it's no surprise here because Samsung makes some of the best cameras in the business, which has me really excited to try out the Note 8 and really push it through its paces and see what kind of shots I can get with it myself. And of course, there are some spec differences which you can see here, but what really has my attention here is the decrease in battery life on the Note 8, which is rocking a 3300 mAh battery compared to the S8 Plus's 3500 mAh battery. And it makes sense considering what happened last year, but can't help but feel disappointed. But that's about it, guys. Now keep in mind, this has just been my first initial impressions and comparisons between the phones. I can't wait to get the Note 8 in hand and put it through a real day in the life. And if you guys are excited about that, be sure to hit that like button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, it's your average consumer. Peace.